to pay tribute to late Manohar Sinai Usgaonkar, a distinguished senior advocate who departed from our midst on Friday, the 30th June of 2023, at a remarkable age of 90. To honor his memory, we reflect upon the lasting impact he has made on the legal system in the state of Goa. Late Manohar Usgaonkar, born on 23rd September 1933 in the serene village of Usgaon, led a life dedicated to the pursuit of legal excellence. He embarked on his educational journey, receiving primary education in Marathi, continuing secondary education, then law studies in Portuguese, successfully completing them in 1957. The liberation of Goa allowed him to seamlessly transition to English language, which further expanded his linguistic horizons. As an advocate, late Manohar Usgaonkar swiftly carved a niche for himself within the legal fraternity. His exceptional skills, sharp legal acumen, and his unwavering values distinguished him as a legal practitioner of highest integrity. His colleague, the judges and litigants, sought his services in various fields of law, including constitutional law, family laws, property laws, and the other commercial and banking laws. With his composed and confident demeanor, he fearlessly handled a wide range of important and contested cases, leaving a profound impact on all those who had the privilege of witnessing his legal expertise. His persuasive arguments, rooted in sound reasoning and comprehensive understanding, earned him the respect and admiration of all his peers, including those on his opposite side. In addition to his mastery of the law, late Manohar Usgaonkar displayed a remarkable talent for translating Portuguese family laws and Portuguese civil code. His linguistic proficiency allowed him to bridge the gap between legal systems, enabling judges, lawyers, academicians, and law students to comprehend and navigate these intricate legal texts with ease. He participated in discussions and deliberations, leading to the amendment of the Civil Procedure Code. His commitment to refining and improving legal landscape. Contrary to late Manohar Usgaonkar extended far beyond the courtroom and legal realm. He passionately advocated the implementation of a uniform civil code for the entire nation. His belief in equality and fairness resonated deeply within him, driving his relentless pursuit of a unified set of civil laws that would benefit all citizens. In his quest to make a positive impact on the society, late Manohar Usgaonkar actively engaged with various social and educational organizations. These included, amongst others, the Academy for Community Development International Living, the Saraswat Education Society, Center for Indo-Portuguese Studies, Dementia Society of Goa, National Association for the Blind. He sought to improve the lives of others, leaving a mark on the community. As a founding member of Rotary Club of Mapsa, he embodied the spirit of service and selflessness, promoting goodwill and fellowship among his like-minded individuals. His passion for legal scholarship led him to serve as an editor of Goa Law Times, a monthly legal journal dedicated to Indo-Portuguese studies. Through this platform, he shared his extensive knowledge and insights, contributing to the intellectual growth of the legal community. His articles and research papers covered an array of topics, ranging from procedural reforms and property laws in Goa to the merits and demerits of Portuguese law and the complexities of conflict of laws. These scholarly contributions demonstrated his dedication to the pursuit of legal excellence and his desire to expand knowledge in the field. The impact of late Manohar Usgaonkar's life and work has been widely recognized and honored. He was bestowed with the prestigious Paul Harris Fellowship in 1994-95 in the recognition of his exceptional contribution and service. He received the esteemed Vidyadhiraj Puraskar from the Srimanta Vidyadhiraj Tirth, acknowledging his distinguished services to the society and his professional excellence. Beyond his professional achievements, late Manohar Usgaonkar's true legacy lies in the lives he touched and the inspiration he provided. His remarkable qualities and exemplary career continue to inspire law students and legal practitioners who look up to him as a role model and mentor. The impact of his remarkable life and distinguished legal career is eloquently captured in the book Dr. Usgaonkar, The Marvel, authored by the former judge of this court, Justice Khande Parkar. This publication highlights the life of late Manohar Usgaonkar through the glowing testimonials of judges, legal luminaries, scholars, industrialists, and many prominent individuals. On a personal note, when I was in Goa in the year 2017 and 18, late Manohar Usgaonkar had reduced his practice in the High Court. However, I had a privilege to interact with him on many occasions otherwise, and I still remember the interaction that I had with him when he had come to give me his books on Portuguese law. With my discussions with him, I could discern the depth of his knowledge on Portuguese law and Goa in general, and his willingness to share his vast knowledge. On behalf of my colleagues, the Bombay High Court and myself, I extend our deepest condolences to the Usgaonkar family. May they find solace in the cherished memories they share with late Manohar Usgaonkar and draw strength from his remarkable legacy. As we navigate our own paths in the legal profession and beyond, let us strive to carry forward his ideals, principles, and commitment to justice. His memory will forever inspire us to strive for excellence, integrity, and justice in our own lives. May his soul find eternal peace.
The Acting Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court. Advocates and other members of the bar, the retired judges of this honorable court, the President of the Goa High Court Bar Association, my dear colleagues. Manohar Sinai Usgaonkar, or Dotor, as every learned man is referred to in Goa, was a prominent figure in our profession. After having begun his career under his guru, late Shri Rui Gomes Pereira, he started his practice in trial courts in Mapsa and surrounding areas. Prior to liberation, the territory of Goa, Daman and Diu was governed by Portuguese laws, and most of the court business was in Portuguese language. After the liberation of Goa, Daman and Diu in the year 1961, the Indian laws were extended to the territory of Goa, Daman and Diu. For many other persons, such a radical change pertaining to the law as well as language would have been a biggest hurdle. Mr. Usgaonkar's tenacity and industriousness ensured that this transition was seamless. His grasp of Portuguese law and Portuguese language was what set him apart from other lawyers. Arguably, there could have been better lawyers than Dotor. But in my opinion, what truly set him apart from his then peers was his contribution to the field of law through translation of family laws, which was in Portuguese, in times when there were no official translations. The same became beneficial to not only the lawmen, but also laymen. Due to the efforts of Dotor, young lawyers who did not understand Portuguese could now understand the laws and apply and defend the common Goan's right. For the longest time, his translation of Portuguese law was considered as the official translation. In the nascent stages of the Bombay High Court in Goa, there were only law journals which were either published from Maharashtra or Delhi. The judgments pertaining to the local laws, namely the Munkar laws, agricultural tenancy laws, Komundad laws, Portuguese laws, etc., were seldom reported in these law journals. His library was always open not only to his juniors, but also to the juniors attached to his chambers. Even a raw junior would walk in his chamber and refer to the books from his library, and if he happened to meet Mr. Usgaonkar, he would put him at ease. His juniors would tell us how he got immersed in a matter and lost track of time. Many of his juniors have held the positions of judges of the Bombay High Court, Advocate General, Additional Advocate General, Union Ministers, etc. He was also a guiding light to various associations, clubs, and organizations, and rendered assistance, including financial assistance, to many. He was a designated senior advocate from the year September 1988 and was appointed as the Additional Solicitor General of India. He was also appointed as the Advocate General of the state of Goa in the year 1999. Since 1965, he was also part of a Rotary Club. He has been the president of All Goa Advocates Association, the president of the Goa High Court Bar Association, and also the chairman of Mapsa Urban Cooperative Bank. It was under his chairmanship that this bank flourished. His two sons, Sudin and Sudesh, have followed his father's footsteps in this profession. I offer my condolences and pray that God gives them enough strength to bear the loss of such a towering figure in the family.
Honorable the acting Chief Justice, honorable judges of this court, respected senior advocates, my colleagues, family members of Usgaonkar family. Today, we have gathered here for this reference in the memory of learned senior advocate Shri Manohar Sinai Usgaonkar, who has left us on 30th June 2023. A profound senior advocate, a first Additional Solicitor General of India from Goa State, Advocate General of Goa during the President's rule, must be mentioned. One great son of this soil, Goa, Bhai, as he was fondly referred to by his loved ones. Mr. Usgaonkar was born in a village of Usgaon, and he always remained true to his Goan heart. He has studied in the Portuguese education system and mastered the same. Not only mastered the system education, but he also excelled in law and possessed a remarkable expertise in Portuguese laws. As the time progressed, there was a need for bridging a gap between understanding the law in local languages or the languages which are known to the practitioners' ears. And Shri Usgaonkar took it upon himself to bridge this gap And as is said earlier also, he has translated many of the laws and simplified them for the understanding of common man and legal practitioners. The law which is translated in the other languages, particularly in English language, helped the fraternity, helped the lawyers, helped the judges, and helped the judicial institutions to function. This great work of his will always be remembered as his significant contribution to the legal field. A layman, lawyer, judges, judicial institutions always stood benefited by this work. With his extreme hard work and perfection, he emerged as an authority on law, and many a times his word would or an opinion came to be treated as a final word in law. In many times when arguments happened in the courts on a difficult question of law, opinion of senior advocate Mr. Usgaonkar was cited as an understanding of law, as an explanation of law, and that was treated as a word in the law. Several books are written, some by him, some on him. One, as mentioned by the Honorable Chief Justice, The Marvel is the book written on him to describe him, the real marvel he has been for the state of Goa and for India. Apart from all his well-known and celebrated endowment in law, his urge to simplify the law for common man also needs to be highlighted. He started one lecture series with an aim to make law simple and available to laymen. Menezes Braganza Law Series was the name of this lecture series. In this lecture series, small booklets were published for the common man. Mr. Usgaonkar took trouble to find out what could be the basic question that a common man will have, and try to find out and provide answers to all such questions in the said lecture series. And that lecture series came to be published in the form of a booklet, and probably it is still available in libraries. Senior Advocate Shri Usgaonkar has been known for his social contributions as well. Some libraries of bar associations were set up by him. His charitable works are well known. Worth mentioning is that his personal library has never been his personal library at all. His library has always been open for every person who has the urge of reading and learning. Anytime, any person, any law practitioner, when required a judgment or a reference was required, he was feeling free to approach MS Usgaonkar's office for reference purpose, and with no hesitation, any advocate who approaches would get a book, would get a free access to his library, and knowledge from his door was never closed to a common man and a lawyer. Most importantly, he has also created a galaxy of good lawyers, some judges, and he has been therefore a Dronacharya of legal Gurukul for the state of Goa. Loss of such marvel does not remain as any personal loss or any loss of a family, but it becomes a loss of the society as a whole. Sir, in you we have lost not only one insightful lawyer, we have also lost one wonderful human, one great son of soil, a marvel, a power-packed lighthouse, a Dronacharya of a legal Gurukul, if I may say so. Om Shanti.
The Chief Justice and all the esteemed judges, Shri Devidas Pangam, the Advocate General, Shri Praveen Faldesai, Advocate Solicitor General, Additional Solicitor General, Advocate Shri Kohilo Pereira, the President of High Court Bar Association, and all the family members of late Advocate Manohar Usgaonkar sir. I fully associate and concur with the views and feelings expressed by the earlier speakers. The former Additional Solicitor General of Goa, the former Advocate General of Goa, and a lawyer of remarkable expertise in Portuguese and civil laws. His profound understanding of Portuguese laws and translation of Goan civil laws have been a guiding path for all the lawyers and judges. A man of great integrity and character as he was, an idol to many young lawyers then and now, many of whom have succeeded in their profession following his footsteps. I was not fortunate enough to work with him or have any experience, but recently I met a client from Bangalore and he shared his experiences about late Advocate Manohar Usgaonkar sir with me. And he said whenever he had any difficulties, he used to take advice of late Usgaonkar sir. After understanding the problems of the client, he used to give him a book and make him read the concerned provisions of law in that book, and then used to explain the provisions of law and its effect on the case of that client. He said he felt like a professor was teaching a student. He said a father was guiding a son. That was late Shri Usgaonkar sir. In the words of that client, a man of professionalism, courtesy, empathy, and a gem of a person. That is what he said about Usgaonkar sir. Late Usgaonkar sir was an epitome of learning, simplicity, humility, integrity, and firmness with decency. We have lost a great legal luminary. On behalf of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, and all the 225,000 lawyers across the state of Maharashtra and Goa, I extend my heartfelt and deepest condolences to Senior Advocate Shri Sudin and Advocate Shri Sudesh and all the family members of late Shri Usgaonkar sir. May his soul rest in peace. Om Shanti.
Chief Justice and your Lordship's companion judges. Whilst endorsing your Lordship's, the Chief Justice's kind words of appreciation and tributes paid by the other speaker to our departed colleague, I would add to it that Mr. Manohar Usgaonkar, though meek in physical stature, was a tall personality and a great lawyer which Goa has produced. I say great lawyer without favor and eulogy. Senior Advocate Manohar Usgaonkar had all the qualities of a great lawyer: integrity, courteous and fair to the court, courteous and fair to his opponent, and honest to himself and his client. Though trained under the Portuguese system of law and had all his education mainly in Portuguese, Mr. Usgaonkar not only adapted to the Indian system of law, but mastered it. The hard work which Mr. Usgaonkar put as a lawyer made him achieve what he had to achieve, of being at one time the most prominent lawyer in the state of Goa. Testimony of it is the fact that Mr. Usgaonkar was a representing counsel in every matter that mattered to the state of Goa in the transition period following the liberation of Goa. To name a few, and to my recollection, is the case of constitutional challenge to the Agriculture Tenancy Act, the Fifth Amendment, the constitutional challenge to the conversion of mining concessions to mining leases, constitutional challenge to the Munkar Act, the price fixation for the land. If one opens the law reports from 82 onwards and tries to find out who the appearing lawyers in the matters decided by this honorable bench of the Bombay High Court were, one will find that in every second case, Mr. Manohar Usgaonkar either represented the appellant or the respondent. Mr. Manohar Usgaonkar was a selfless individual I say so for a fact that despite his busy schedule of work, in difficult times he set himself with his juniors and translated into English the text of Portuguese family and succession laws applicable to the state to help lawyers train under the Indian system of law and to provide access to us of the text of law. That was not all. For most of us trained under the Indian law, he was a true guide in solving our difficulties when we approach him for any advice or interpretation of the provisions of the Portuguese law. Mr. Usgaonkar was a founder member and a driving force to set up the Goa High Court Bar Association. He was our first president. His organizing skills were unmatched. Though due to his advanced age, Mr. Usgaonkar decided to stay away from the courts. His contribution to the legal fraternity will forever be acknowledged. The state owes to him mainly the enactment of Goa Succession Special Notaries and Inventory Proceedings Act 2012. The legacy which Mr. Usgaonkar left to the state of Goa as a distinguished lawyer, a good human being, and as a true citizen will always be remembered. I am sure that this legacy will be followed by his children, namely Sudin and Sudesh, and his grandson Sukr, who have taken up this altruistic profession. I wish the family the courage and God's will to follow Mr. Usgaonkar's legacy. Thank you.
Respect to the departed soul, we will now rise and observe 1 minute silence. Will commence shortly.